Please rise, ladies and gentlemen. The 16th Sangguniang Panlalawigan is now convened for its 37th regular session. The Honorable Vice Governor, Adeline M. Angeles, presiding.
The 37th regular session of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan is now called to order. Honorable Dindin Mercado Office is requested to lead the invocation to be followed by the national anthem.
Let us all pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear God, as we go through another phase of our legislative work, always guide our intellects and our hearts. Make us both receptive and sensitive to the political ideas and opinions of our fellow Sanggunian. Remind us of the reality that although we are diverse in our views and our advocacies, we are one and united towards pursuing lasting progress and prosperity for the people, that we all strive to ensure the welfare of our citizenry for whom we have committed to serve. Dear God, as we go to fulfill our mandate to legislative laws aimed at uplifting lives and safeguarding the interests of our citizens, always make us remember that all this is to make through our commitment to nation building that will eventually redound to the growth and development of our Filipino nation. All this we pray in the name of our Almighty Father. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dilim mo'y umay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka lang magiliw, sa manlulubi, kita masisingin, sa lahat at puno, sa simoy at sa langit mo, ay ilang ang tulang, awit sa paglayan.
Mr. Secretary, kindly call the roll.
Honorable Mark Julius P. Caballes, Honorable Aurelio J. Leva III, Honorable Antonio L. Mangkukang III, Honorable Bernardine Opis Mercado, Honorable Mel Gabal R. N. Cabo, Honorable Mercedes Arejano, Honorable Danilo Arred, Honorable Ismael D. Pilim, Honorable Jose Neril L. Manggol, Honorable Baldomero L. Limpiada, Honorable Lorena Rosales. Madam Presiding Officer, with the 9 members of the board present, we have the necessary quorum for this morning's session.
The chair then declares the presence of quorum. We can proceed with the order of business. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat at sa lahat ng mga kasama at sa lahat ng ating mga kapatid sa paglilingkod from the Secretariat, gayon din sa ating mga panauhin. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Yes, what is the pleasure of the floor leader?
Thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officer, and good morning also. For the reading and adoption of the minutes of the previous session, Madam Presiding Officer, may I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the previous session dated May 5 and consider the same as having been read without prejudice to the corrections and clarifications from the members of the board. I so move.
It is being moved that the body dispensed with the reading of the minutes without prejudice to the presentation of correction. And any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved.
Inviting members of the board to have some corrections to the minutes of the previous session dated May 5, 2023.
Any corrections from the floor? Yes, Honorable Leva.
Since no member of the board manifested any corrections to the minutes of the previous session, Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for the adoption of the minutes of the 16th regular session dated May 36th regular session dated May 5, 2023. I so move.
There is a motion from the chairperson of the Committee on Rules for the adoption of the minutes of our May 5, 2023 session without correction. Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The minutes of our May 5, 2023 session is now adopted.
Madam Presiding Officer, inviting members of the board to have some matters arising from the minutes.
Any matters arising from the minutes, Honorable Leva?
Madam Presiding Officer, since there's no matters arising from the minutes, we now go to the approval and amendment of the agenda. For our agenda, for the privilege hour, we don't have any. We have two invited guests for the question hour. For the reference of business and first reading, for the messages and correspondence, we have originally 5 items, but we will add 3 items from the communications and correspondence from the Office of the Governor. For the communications and petitions, we have 2 items. For the proposed ordinance, we have 1 item. We have 5 original committee reports, but there will be 2 additional committee reports. 1 is oral and 1 is written committee report. We have, for the calendar of business, 1 unfinished business and 1 no business for the day, no unassigned business. Proposed ordinance for third and final reading, we don't have any. For announcement, we don't have. Adjournment, we don't have. Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for the approval of today's agenda as amended? I so move.
There is a motion from the chairperson of the Committee on Rules for the adoption of today's agenda with amendment. Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The amended agenda is now adopted.
Madam Presiding Officer, for the privilege hour, we don't have any members of the board who signified his intention to avail of the privilege hour. For the question hour, we have invited Ms. Rowena O. Bishop, PRC Vice Chairman, and other officers and members of the Philippine Red Cross Marinduque for the 70th founding anniversary of this prestigious institution. May I ask that we invite them in the front of the session hall?
May we request our guest, led by the Vice Chairperson of the new set of the Board of Directors of Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter, to be with us in front. We want to recognize with Vice Chair Bishop our other members of the new set of Board of Philippine Red Cross, including Sir Daryl, Sir Macdon, our partner also from Torrijos LGU, and Ma'am Laila, and yes, some volunteers with us also. So thank you po. You may have your seat po, and with that, pleasure of the floor leader.
Madam Presiding Officer, asking for the recognition of the Philippine Red Cross.
Yes, just to provide a context, we decided to invite representatives from Philippine Red Cross because of previous discussions also, and on some ongoing discussions that are going on involving Philippine Red Cross leadership and also the provincial government of Marinduque, led by our Governor Presby Velasco. And at the same time, we recognize that it is a big year for Philippine Red Cross and our partner in service. This is also an opportunity for them to address the board on some other matters. So with that, we recognize, the presiding officer recognize our partners, the vice chair of Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter, who also worked with the American Red Cross for several years. So it is a blessing for Red Cross. Ma'am Weng Bishop. Wala po siyang mga kaparian. Ang kasama po niya ay mga direktor. So yes, Ma'am Weng Bishop is recognized.
Good morning. Medyo mahina po yung boses ko. So anyway, to our distinctive Sangguniang Panlalawigan members of Marinduque individuals who are representing private entities, and to our presiding officer and Vice Governor, Adeline Angeles, magandang umaga po. It is my great pleasure to have this opportunity to represent the current Board of Directors of the Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter. With me here today are Director Darrell Landoy, Director Roberto McDon, and our PRC Acting Chapter Administrator Leila Malabayabas. And of course, our Board of Director Chair himself, Vice Governor Adeline Angeles. That being said, we would like to present and introduce you to the whole team of Sangguniang Panlalawigan members and their representatives. We're excited that besides celebrating our National Philippine Red Cross 75th anniversary, our own PRC Marinduque Chapter is also celebrating our 70th founding anniversary. In relation to that, our chapter has prepared several activities that will run through the whole year. As a kickoff for this year's celebration, we will be having the famous Color Fun Run tomorrow, May 13, at 5 o'clock in the morning, to be held at Damian Reyes Moreno Arena, with an emphasis of our team serving humanity, saving lives. We would like to ask for your support by joining our kickoff celebration and running or walking with us, or just cheering in the participants. This will encourage everyone to celebrate with us as we continue to bring Marinduque the services that Philippine Red Cross can uniquely provide, including safety services, blood services, health services, disaster management services, Red Cross Youth, and volunteer services, to name just a few. All of us of the Board of Directors, from the chair on down, are excited about the future of Marinduque Chapter. This is not just due to our celebrating our anniversary, but we have plans and dreams for making our chapter much more visible on the National Red Cross stage. One example of our advances is to initiate, roll out, and support a blood bank local to Marinduque. This was a long time in the planning and now appears to be coming in reality. This represents a change to make real, visible, tangible improvement in the healthcare of a Marinduqueñan populace. It will require work and support, but the result will be more than repay our efforts. Recent meetings and discussions with leadership across the island have demonstrated strong support for our future plans. The Board of Directors find inspiration and encouragement from the support we have already received or been promised. We also would like to thank each one of you that is here today for your past and current support, physically, emotionally, and financially, to the Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter. We humbly request your continued support as we all keep working together for the good of our local communities and humanity in general. Philippine Red Cross, always first, always ready, always there. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat sa atin hong panauhin. So we've been working closely. The provincial government of Marinduque has been supporting Philippine Red Cross in the past, and now that Philippine Red Cross has a lot of initiatives now that definitely will benefit also our constituency. I think the partnership will be stronger. Just for an advance information of the body, there is a proposal from the Philippine Red Cross, from the headquarters, being implemented also by the Marinduque Chapter, to partner with the provincial government for the setting up of blood facility in the province, which was very timely dahil we are working on the requirements of DOH for the level 2 hospital. There was, just for an advance information, but not to preempt also the details, because the governor will be endorsing something to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan soon. Based on direct information that we know, the Governor Presby Velasco, and Chairman Dick Gordon has already agreed in principle, and also during the meeting of the Philippine Red Cross Chapter with the governor 3 days ago, Wednesday, there was meeting of the mind already kasi ang commitment apparently ng Red Cross sa isi-set up na blood facility is Red Cross will take charge of the equipment, will take charge of the operating expenses, and even the human resource that include 1 physician, 2 nurses, 3 medtechs. But what is being requested from the province is a location, a venue for it, which according to the governor, parang the governor is parang proposing a portion at the provincial hospital. So if it will materialize, it will benefit our constituency. So meron po bang ilang katanungan ang ating mga kasama? Una, sa kanilang or comment sa kanilang pasasalamat sa pamahalaang panlalawigan, and at the same time an appeal for continuous support.
That we did not leave this hall last Tuesday without the approval of the amount that we propose for the implementation of that project. So the amount is actually 3,294,000. So thank you so much po for that in Romblon. So we are inviting po every one of you, if you can be with us. The delegation will be in the evening. So Vice, if you can be with us, of course, we will be also writing, we will send our invitation also to our governor and to you through a letter. But actually po, we have already the of those who are we are inviting to be with us in that
Of the Committee on Education ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan, Honorable Danny Red.
Madam Chair, good morning po sa inyong lahat, lalo na sa ating pong Lynn Mendoza. Kayo ang naging superintendent dito po sa maliit na bayan, lalawigan ng Marinduque. At nabanggit po ninyo kanina na nanggaling na kayo sa malalaking bayan. At alam ko po na yung pong inyong karanasan sa tagal po ng inyong pagiging superintendent, ay sigurado ko po na meron kayong mga panibagong mga programa na dadalhin dito sa ating pong lalawigan upang maibigay po sa ating mga kabataan na susunod na henerasyon. At nung pong Tuesday, ako po ang committee chairman ng Committee ng Education. Ako po yung, tayo po ang magka-meeting. At yung pong Basa Baya program ay, yun po ay, ngayon ay i-adapt namin ang, dito po sa committee, dito po sa floor. Then, ito naman po ay in-approve sa committee at dito naman po namin i-approve ngayon sa plenary. So, yun po kami po, nag-usap po kami ni Bukal Jojo, ang ating pong magaling na bukal, na yung pong programang yan ay kung mamarapatin po ay ituloy-tuloy dahil maganda pong programa para po tulong sa ating pong mga kabataan. Ano po, at yun lamang po, at kung ano po ang ibang inyong mga programa na may tulong po ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa pangunguna po ng ating Vice Governor, ng ating pong mahal na Gobernador, ay nandito lamang po kami. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much po. Gusto ko lang pong idagdag na yung Basa Baya, when we had our committee hearing, it's focused on reading alone. Ano po? But we will incorporate also writing and arithmetic. So yun pong 3 hours para hindi naman siya naka-focus lang talaga sa pagbasa. Ano po? So we will be submitting a separate yung proposal for 2024 for the next school year. But for the meantime, we will push through with the implementation of the Basa Baya which you approved last Tuesday po. Ano po? Thank you very much po.
Okay. Yes, the gentleman from Mogpog, Honorable Rangkukang.
Maraming salamat po, Binibining Tagapangulo. At sa atin pong bagong superintendent, sa ating lalawigan ng Marinduque. Yun daw ang proper pronunciation according to late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. Superintendent is superintendent. Ginagaya lang natin siya. Ano po? Welcome po, ma'am. At magaan po ang aming loob sa iyo at nakikita namin na mas malaki pa ang magagawa mo para sa ating lalawigan ng Marinduque pagdating sa edukasyon. Ano po? At nais ko na rin pong samantalahin ang pagkakataong ito sapagkat meron pong nakahain sa plenaryo ang komite ng Environmental Protection and Human Ecology kung saan ay nagsusulong po ng isang batas panlalawigan para sa an ordinance requiring parents, marrying couple, and students to plant trees upon birth registration, application for marriage, or graduation respectively, providing for the mechanisms for its implementations, appropriating necessary funds therefore, and for other related purposes. At nasa section 5 po nito, Superintendent, ito po, mandatory planting of trees of students graduating in grade 6, grade 12, and college. At sa inyo po, concern natin is for grade 6 and grade 12. At ito po ang cover ng DepEd.
Yes po, yes po.
Ma'am. In consonance with the Republic Act number 10176 or the Arbor Day Act of 2012, all students graduating in grade 6, grade 12, and college shall be required to plant at least 6 trees prior to their graduation. The school authorities, through the Department of Education, DepEd, in case of elementary and high school, or the college administration shall coordinate with the provincial government, Environment and Natural Resources Office, OPG-ENRO, for the schedule of the respective schools' tree planting activities. As much as possible, the tree planting shall be done in a government-designated area, provided that the graduating students in the elementary and high school shall plant the trees within the premise of their home or within the barangay premises, identified barangay communal forest, while the graduating college students shall plant trees within the areas identified by the PG-ENRO, DENR, or PENRO, under the National Greening Program, herein attached and provided further. Ano po, meron din po tayo, Superintendent DepEd order, tama po ba na talaga nire-require ang mga estudyante per year na magtatanim sila. Ano po, at ni-intensify lang natin sa ating lalawigan dahil isa po tayo sa denuded mountain, ano po, forest ang lalawigan ng Marinduque sa sanhi ng ating mga irresponsableng pagmimina. Kaya po, akong makikita po ninyo yan, ano po, may experience niyo yan at kayo ay nandyan sa ISOC 1, ano po, pag lumakas ang ulan, baha na po dyan sa MNHS. Hindi na po kayo makakatawid. Ano po, so maraming contributor at ang main factor po dito ay ang ating bundok ay kalbo na talaga. Ano po, and with this ordinance, ano po, sa tulong ng DepEd, sa pamamagitan po ninyo, Superintendent, ano po, ay amin pong hinihiling na suportahan ninyo ang ating ordinansa at ito naman po ay sabi nga ay kaakibat ng Republic Act, ano po, the Arbor Day at meron din po kayo sa sarili ninyong ahensya na DepEd order. Thank you po,
Yes po. Yes po. We will support po the program. I am not sure if we have already the copy of the ordinance.
Papadalhan po
So
namin
kung
kayo.
pahingi po kami, ano po, para...
Okay.
Yes po.
Papadalhan po kayo ng ating pong vice governor.
Yes.
Sige ho, ang atin hong proponent actually was Bukal Mangkukang, pero excited lang ho siya na maitanong po sa inyo not to put you in ano daw dito, on the spot, ano ho. Kasi ito po kasi ay actually hindi pa siya ordinance, it is for second reading at sinasamantala ho niya siguro ang inyo pong presensya para makuha in advance ang inyong reaction or comments. But siguro po mapadalhan nga po ang ating bagong leadership sa division office nung kopya para po makapag-comment din po sila. And ito po ay for ano na po kasi for nasa unfinished business namin, kaya po sinasamantala rin po namin ano. But of course, para mas substantial ho yung inyo pong input as requested by Honorable Mangkukang, and we will advise the Secretary to furnish your office ASAP of this proposed ordinance.
So, will it be okay if we also give our comments or recommendation with regard to the participation of our learners? Ano po?
Opo.
Yes, okay.
Yun naman po yung intention din para mas mapolish po.
Yes,
Para
thank
kapag
you.
po nagkaroon nga ng final approval, then everybody is informed na rin po on how to implement it more effectively. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much din.
What is now the pleasure of the reporting committee chair?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that I move for the adoption of this committee report, number 148 and number 148-2023. Kaya kasama po yung mga binagong mga recommendation po, Madam Chair.
There's a motion from the reporting committee chair. Any objection? The chair hears none. Thus, the committee report rendered with amendments by the reporting committee chair, Honorable Neril Manggol, is now adopted.
Thank you po.
And requesting the good secretary to make the necessary communication manifesting the intention of the SP in the adopted committee report. The number 2, the issue on the overtime pay is now formally referred to the Committee on Human Resource, Labor and Employment.
Next committee report, Madam Chair, is the committee report number 149-2023 of the Committee on Environmental Protection and Human Ecology. May I ask to recognize the chairperson of the said committee?
The gentleman from Mogpog, Honorable Mangkukang, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to our fellow leader. Here is the committee report number 149-2023. Committee on Environmental Protection and Human Ecology. Subject: first, proposed ordinance number 16-21, entitled An Ordinance Requiring Parents, Marrying Couple, and Students to Plant Trees Upon Birth Registration, Application for Marriage or Graduation respectively, providing for the mechanisms for its implementation, appropriating funds therefore, and for other related purposes. Second, proposed ordinance number 16-24, entitled An Ordinance Establishing the Enhanced Greening Program within the province of Marinduque, providing funds in the implementation therefore, and for other related purposes. And number 3, letter from Governor Presbyterio J. Velasco Jr. endorsing to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan for an authority to enter into, execute, and sign a memorandum of agreement, MOA, for and in behalf of the provincial government of Marinduque with Wholesome Philippines Incorporated relative to the development and implementation of an effective waste management plan. In consideration of the above stated subject matters, which were referred to the herein reporting committee, a committee hearing was held on May 10, 2023, and the recommendations are hereby being presented to this honorable body through the presiding officer for consideration and appropriate legislative action. To wit, on proposed ordinance number 16-21, initial recommendations to include in section 3 the provision which states that provided that if the child was born and registered in a municipality where they do not reside, the parents shall have the option to plant the trees within their area of residence or owned lots or in the designated barangay communal forest area. Second, in Section 4, the number of trees to be planted by marrying couples should be at least 6 trees. Third, in Section 5, the number of trees to be planted, 4 trees. In Section 5, the number of trees to be planted by graduating students should be at least 6 trees. There should also be a provision that the graduating elementary and high school students should plant trees within the designated barangay designated areas, while the graduating college students should plant in the communal forest area identified by the DENR. Section 4, Section 6 should be amended to read as exemption. This ordinance shall not be mandatory for differently abled individuals. Fifth, to include in paragraph 3, section 7, the mangrove and nara as among the trees that may be planted. The provision of section 13 sanctions must be in accordance with section 511B of Republic Act number 7160 or the Local Government Code of 1991. Final recommendation that the proposed ordinance number 16-21 entitled An Ordinance Requiring Parents Marrying Couple and Students to Plant Trees Upon Birth Registration, Application for Marriage or Graduation, respectively providing for the mechanisms for its implementation, appropriating funds therefore and for other related purposes, be approved for second reading. On proposed ordinance number 1624, initial recommendations in section 3 that the phrase indigenous peoples be removed in item number 1, as well as the definition of indigenous under section 4 item number 4.37. Second, in section 5, to include the identified barangay communal forest as among the areas covered. Third, item number 6.1.2 under section 6 be amended to read as follows. All employees of the national government agencies stationed in the province, provincial government of Marinduque, and municipal governments shall plant at least 10 trees per year during the planting activity in areas to be determined by the DENR, PGNRO, and concerned LGUs. Fourth, to include item number 6.1.3 under section 6, which shall read as follows. All graduating students, marrying couples, and parents registering births shall be required to plant trees in accordance with the provision of the Community Tree Planting Ordinance of 2023 of the Province of Marinduque. Fifth, to include the Municipal Environment and Natural Resources Office, MenRO, as among the implementing agencies of the ordinance. Sixth, to include in section 6.3.1 the hiring of additional personnel job order to assist in the monitoring and reporting of the progress of the MGP. 7. To include in section 7.2 the Commission on Higher Education or CHED. Number 8. To include in section 7.9 the provision of security personnel. 9. To include in section 7.11 the Department of Science and Technology, the Department of Trade and Industry, and Marinduque State College. 10. To include in section 7.12 the private schools and colleges. And its final recommendation, Madam Chair, that the proposed ordinance number 16-24, entitled An Ordinance Establishing the Enhanced Greening Program within the Province of Marinduque, providing funds in the implementation therefore and for other related purposes, be approved for second reading. On the letter from the Governor requesting for an authority to enter into a memorandum of understanding, a memorandum of agreement with Holcim Philippines Incorporated, that the recommendation, Madam Chair, is the committee favorably recommends for the adoption of a resolution authorizing the Honorable Governor Presbytero J. Velasco Jr. to enter into, sign, and execute a memorandum of agreement for and in behalf of the provincial government of Marinduque with Holcim Philippines, INC, relative to the development and implementation of an effective waste management plan. Respectfully submitted, the Committee on Environmental Protection and Human Ecology. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you to the reporting committee chair, Honorable Mangkukang, and the members of the Committee on Environmental Protection and Human Ecology. So any clarificatory questions from the floor with regard to the committee report? The chair hears none, so there is a motion.
Madam Chair, the committee moves for the adoption of a committee report number 149-2023 of the Committee on Environmental Protection and Human Ecology. I so move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion by the reporting committee chair for the adoption of the committee report as rendered. So it will be considered in the business.
The business for the day, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, may this representation be recognized for the committee report number 150/2023 of the Committee on Rules, Laws, and Ordinances.
Proceed, Honorable Leva.
Subject matter, Municipal Ordinance number 277 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Municipal Ordinance number 278 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Municipal Ordinance number 279 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Municipal Ordinance number 97 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Gasan, Municipal Ordinance number 2022-355 of the Municipality of Buwak, and Municipal Ordinance number 2023-360 of the Municipality of Buwak. The reporting committee to which was referred the above mentioned municipal ordinances from the component municipality is now ready to submit its observation and recommendations to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and Bank. As an observation, the title Municipal Ordinance number 2023-360 of the Municipality of Buwak reads, an ordinance providing for the safety and special protection of child passengers aboard motorcycle, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. However, nowhere in the provision of the said ordinance finds appropriating funds of the said funds. Noting the observation, no members of the committee pose any objection for the declaration of the said municipal ordinances as being valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Therefore, the committee hereby recommends for the adoption of the following resolutions. Resolution declaring municipal ordinance number 277 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled an ordinance operationalizing Republic Act 10173 valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 278 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled an ordinance to curtail the safe rental, transfer, distribution, manufacture, and or production of pirated, counterfeit, or fake foods, articles, or services, and for other related purposes valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 279 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled an ordinance localizing freedom of information in the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, and providing guidelines therefore valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 97 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Gasan, Marinduque, entitled an ordinance prescribing fees for the occupancy rights, rentals, and maintenance of the second floor, Annex A building, food court, and multipurpose hall of the Gasan Public Market, stipulating its terms and conditions, and providing penalties and violation therefore valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Resolution declaring Ordinance number 2023-355 of the Municipality of Buwak, Marinduque, entitled an ordinance authorizing the pruning of cutting of trees and other vegetation that reach any transmission line or edge of any road, alley, street, or building for public use in the Municipality of Buwak, Province of Marinduque, valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. And resolution declaring ordinance number 2023-360 of the Municipality of Buwak, entitled an ordinance providing for the safety and special protection of child passenger aboard motorcycles, appropriating funds therefore and for other related purposes valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Respectfully submitted, yours truly, As Chairperson, the Honorable Mark Julius P. Caballos. As Vice Chairperson, the Honorable Ismael D. Pilin, Honorable Jose Nerel Mangol, and Honorable Baldomero L. Limpiada as members. Madam Presiding Officer, I move that we adopt Committee Report number 150/2023 and that the accompanying resolutions be transferred to the business plenary portion of today's session.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Leva and members of the Committee on Laws, Rules, and Ordinances. There is a pending motion to adopt the Committee Report number 150/2023 of the Committee on Laws, Rules, and Ordinances as rendered. Any objection? The Chair hears none, thus the Committee Report as rendered is now adopted.
And the committee report be transferred to the business plenary, Madam President.
And the corresponding resolutions as an offshoot of the adopted committee report be considered in the business for the day.
Madam Presiding Officer, may this representation again be recognized for the rendering of the Committee Report number 151/2023 of the Committee on Human Resource, Labor, and Employment.
Proceed, Honorable Leva.
Subject matter, letter from Ms. Evelyn P. Emena, Administrative Officer of Santa Cruz District Hospital, requesting for the grant of one-step salary grade higher to her basic salary effective 3 months prior to her compulsory retirement on December 2, 2023. The reporting committee at which was referred the above-mentioned subject matter is now ready to submit its findings and recommendation to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and Bank for legislative action. Findings. The Sangguniang Panlalawigan was in receipt of the letter from Ms. Evelyn P. Jimena, Administrative Officer of Santa Cruz District Hospital, requesting the provincial government of Marinduque to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan for the grant of one-step salary grade higher on her basic salary effective September 2, 2023, which is 3 months prior to her compulsory retirement on December 2, 2023. Section 30 of Republic Act 7305, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Public Health Workers, states that 3 months before the compulsory retirement, the public health worker shall be granted an automatic one salary grade increase in her basic salary, and his retirement benefit thereafter shall be computed on the basis of the highest salary received and paid, provided that the public health worker has reached retirement age and fulfilled the service requirements under the existing law. Section 3, Rule 1 of the same Act states that health worker shall mean all persons who are engaged in health and health-related works and all persons employed in hospitals, sanitaria, health infirmaries, health centers, rural health units, barangay health station, clinics, and other related establishment owned by the government. Recommendation. Based on the foregoing, the committee hereby recommends to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and Bank the adoption of a resolution one-step salary higher to the basic salary of Ms. Evelyn P. Jimena, Administrative Officer at the Santa Cruz District Hospital, effective 3 months prior to her compulsory retirement on December 2, 2023, pursuant to Republic Act 7305, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Health Workers, and appropriating necessary funds for the purpose. Respectfully submitted, yours truly as Chairperson of the Committee on Human Resource, Labor, and Employment, the Honorable Mark Julius P. Caballos, the Honorable Bernardine E. Office Mercado, the Honorable Mercedes Arellano, and the Honorable Jose Nerel L. Mangol. Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for the adoption of Committee Report number 151, Series of 2023 of the Committee on Human Resource and Labor and Employment.
Thank you, Honorable Leva, and the members of the Committee on Human Resource, Labor, and Employment for the committee report. There is a pending motion to adopt the committee report as rendered by the reporting committee chair. Any objection? The chair hears none. Thus, Committee Report 151/2023, rendered by the chair of the Committee on Human Resource, Labor, and Employment, is now adopted. And the corresponding resolution to be considered in the business for the day.
Yes, Madam Chair. For committee reports, may I ask to recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Education, Culture, and the Arts for the joint committee report of the Committee on Agriculture, Education, Culture, and the Arts, and the Committee on Appropriations.
The reporting committee chair, Honorable Red, is recognized.
Committee report number 146-2023. Joint Committee on Education, Culture, and Arts, and Committee on Appropriation. Subject: letter from Ms. Lynn G. Mendoza, OIC School Division Superintendent, Department of Education, School Division of Marinduque, regarding the approved activity design for bayanihan sa Basa-Baya Lahat program, 3 bis LP, and requesting for funding. The reporting committees unto which was referred the above-mentioned subject matter is now ready to submit its findings and recommendations to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan in bank for legislative action. Findings. The Sangguniang Panlalawigan was received of approved activity design for bayanihan sa Basa-Baya Lahat program, 3 bis LP, of the DepEd School Division of Marinduque, and the request for funding and the amount of 3,294,000 for its implementation. Reading comprehension assessment is a major challenge in every school, every teacher, and all those educators involved thereto, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Hence, the DepEd Implementation Division CID sought the support of the PGM for the implementation of the said program. The 3 bis LP aims to equip learners with reading skills, increase their reading level, and to make them proficient and independent in the grade levels. Through the engagement of school internal and external stakeholders by nurturing a culture of reading in schools, communities, and school division office. Number 4, the 3 bis LP is scheduled to be implemented mid-August 2023, and the requested fund will be used as honorarium for the learning support aides, LSA, or volunteer reading tutors who will be tapped to teach and guide identified non-readers in grades 1 to 6 for a certain period of time for 6 months. LSA will be assigned to each elementary school in the province with honorarium of 3,000 per month. There is an existing partnership by and between the Marinduque State College, MSc, and DepEd that utilizes BSE student as LSAs, which may lessen the projected numbers of LSA that will be given honorarium. Mainstream teachers or teachers currently teaching in school in the province will not be allowed to volunteer as LSAs. However, the possibility of them will allow to volunteer outside working hours or on weekend will be referred by DepEd to the Civil Service Commission, CSC. The Provincial Budget Officer posed no objection for the approval of the request for funding for the implementation of the said programs. Thus, it will be charged from the general fund proper and will be appropriated under the MOOE account of the Provincial Governor's Office, PGO. Final recommendations. Based on the foregoing, the Joint Committee hereby recommends to the SP in bank the adoption of a resolution appropriating the amount of 3,294,000 under the Provincial Governor's Office intended for the implementation of bayanihan sa Basa-Baya Lahat programs, 3 bis LP of the Department of Education, Schools Division of Marinduque, provided that eligible education fresh graduate volunteers who are English Filipino major and it's within the vicinity of the identified school shall be prioritized. Number 2, services to be rendered by assigned LSAs will be considered as teaching experience. Number 3, BSE graduates whose major is not Filipino or English and volunteered for the program shall also be considered, provided that they will undergo a proper training on reading comprehension conducted by the DepEd. And number 4, a post-activity assessment should be done after the implementation of the said program in order to find out if it has been effective, taking into consideration its objectives. Respectfully submitted, yours truly, Chairman, Committee on Education, Antonio Mangkukang III, Vice Chairman, Committee on Education, Mercedes Rihano, Member, Committee on Education, Aurelio J. Leva, Member, Committee on Appropriation, Mark Julius Caballes, Chair, Committee on Appropriation, Esmael D. Pilim, Vice Chairman, Committee on Appropriation, Bernadette Office, Mercado, Member, Committee on Education, Loren R. Rosales, Member, Committee on Appropriation, concurred by Adeline M. Angeles, Vice Governor, ex officio. Madam Chair, Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the adoption of the committee reports number 146, 2023 of the Joint Committee on Education, Culture and Arts and Committee on Appropriation and its corresponding resolution be transferred to the business of the day's session. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you to the reporting committee chair and to all chairpersons and members of the joint committees. There is a motion, but before the disposition on the motion, may the presiding officer be informed if the 3,294,000 being recommended here for appropriation be coming from the special education fund, or this is a different fund? Sa general fund po ang tinatarget. Okay po. I was just reminded. So there is a motion from the reporting committee chair. No need for a second. Any objection? The chair hears none. The committee report is now adopted and approved, including the motion to include in the business for the day the proposed resolution. Next committee report.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I again ask that we recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Education, Culture and Arts for the committee report of the said committee report number 147, 2023.
The chairperson, Honorable Red, is again recognized.
Madam Chair, committee report number 147, 2023. Committee on Education, Culture and Arts. Subject: endorsement from the Governor, Presbytero J. Velasco Jr. for the adoption of a resolution supporting the request of the DepEd School Division of Marinduque for the Marinduque State College, MSc, to offer English and Filipino majors on their Bachelor of Science in Education, BSc course. In order for the committee to whom the above subject was referred to come up with its recommendation, it requested the position commence of MSc. And its letter lay down the reason for its request, which are the vacancies of teachers item caused by retirement, promotions, and transfer of existing permanent English and Filipino major teachers happen on the regular basis throughout the years. Number 2, the number of qualified English Filipino teachers applicants from the province is inadequate. Thus, the DepEd Division of Marinduque needs to invite applicants from the neighboring provinces to make sure that they are hiring teacher applicants based on the need of the division to address the gap on the availability of teachers applicants who are qualified for the required fields. MSc in its submitted letter posit that they are constrained to propose new curricular programs at this time as it may be preempt the conversion of the college into university. The need to offer new programs or majors shall be subject to careful planning, feasibility and market study, and CHED requires that all existing curricular offering of the college are issued with Certificate of Programs Compliance, COPC, to pass the validation. And number 3, the MSc will consider the request of DepEd to strengthen the justification to open new programs or major once the college achieve university status. Wherefore, the committee hereby recommends that resolution of support be deferred at the moment, since it may be preempt the conversation of the college into university or until such time that MSc achieve its university status. Copy of this report be furnished the DepEd Division of Marinduque and Marinduque State College and the Provincial Governor's Office. Respectfully submitted, yours truly, Committee on Education, Antonio Mangkukang III, Vice Chairman, Committee on Education, Mercedes Riano, Member, Committee on Education, Esmael D. Pilim, Member, Committee on Education, Bernardine Opis, Member, Committee on Education. Concurred by Adeline M. Angeles, Vice Governor, ex officio member. Madam Presiding Officer, this representation as Chairperson of the Committee on Education, Culture and Arts hereby moves for the adoption of the committee report number 147, 2023. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Honorable Red and the members of the Committee on Education. There is a motion by the reporting committee chair. No need for a second. Any objection? There is a query. What is the query, Honorable Leva?
Nung unang conducts ba sila ng committee hearing, naibitahan di ba nila yung St. Mary's College of Marinduque? Kasi parang ang pagkaalam ko po dyan, may agreement din kasi ang mga eskwelahan dito sa bayan ng Buwak na yung isang institution na higher education institution ay hindi sila nag-offer nung offer kasi magilaan. Kasi once na naglagay po ng English and Filipino major dyan sa Marinduque State College, ay mapapatay po ang kursong Filipino and English major sa St. Mary's kasi libre po ang ano. Kaya isa rin po sigurong tiningnan kung ano ang magiging epekto nito sa mga private institution.
Okay, kaya ganun ang recommendation. May we hear from Honorable Red. Was there an instance na naimbitahan ho ang St. Mary's to provide input dito po sa request ng Governor?
Hindi na po natin na-invite, Madam Chair. Pero maliwanag naman po na ito ay ito naman po ay deferred sa ngayon. So some other time na lang po natin kung nakalagay naman po dito pag na-achieve na ng MSc yung pong pagiging university nila dahil ang sabi po nila makakaabala sa application ng MSc na sila ay maging university status.
Okay. So anyway, the concerned institution din is Marinduque State College. But anyway, it was deferred nga. So the same might be considered
pero
when we
pa rin po
push
yung
through.
Problema natin according to DepEd na pagdating daw po sa communication major ay kaya po may imbalance dito sa atin ngayon is because marami po ang graduate ng Marinduque State College na social studies, mathematics, biology, science, pero kaunti ang gumagraduate ng communication. Kaya po ang nai-employ ay from other division, di mga taga-Romblon, mga taga-Mindoro po, kasi kulang na kulang po ang supply ng teacher na ang major ay Filipino at English.
Okay. So I guess that will be noted by the Committee on Education when they resume the disposition on this proposed ordinance. So there is a pending motion by the reporting committee chair. Any objection to the motion to adopt the committee report? The chair hears none. Thus, the committee report rendered by the Committee on Education, Culture, and Arts is now adopted. And also requesting the good secretary to kindly inform the DepEd together with the committee report as an attachment.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I ask that we recognize the chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means for its committee report number 148-2023.
The chair of Honorable Manggol is recognized.
Committee report number 148-2023. Joint Committee on Ways and Means, Lead and Committee on Health and Nutrition. Subject, letter from Governor Presbyterian J. Velasco Jr. requesting the Sangguniang Panlalawigan for an authority to charge an emergency fee from dialysis patients who will undergo treatment outside the operating hours of the dialysis center in the amount of 3,000 pesos. The herein reporting joint committee has the honor to present to this honorable body, to the presiding officer, its finding recommendation on the above stated subject matter, which have been referred to appropriate legislative action as follows. Findings: the hemodialysis center under the Marinduque Provincial Hospital in PH was operating after the enactment of Provincial Ordinance number 196, series of 2022, entitled An Ordinance Establishing the Hemodialysis Center in the Marinduque Provincial Hospital, prescribing the fees and charges for its operations and for other related purpose. Number 2, the center has 4 dialysis machines catering to 20 enrolled dialysis patients with operating hours of 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Number 3, the center has only 4 nurses, 2 doctors, and 4 technicians who are on rotating schedule, which is not sufficient for the operation of center. Thus, they are obliged to render more than 8 hours of service, which extends up to 12 hours of duty during emergency cases. Number 4, the nurses, doctors, technicians of the hemodialysis center are on the contractual of-job order basis. Hence, they cannot avail of the overtime payment. Thus, they propose the imposition of an emergency fee amounting to 3,000 pesos to compensate for the professional fees on service during emergency dialysis treatment. The said fee is on top of the regular fee being charged in the regular treatment in the amount of 4,500 pesos. The same may be charged to PhilHealth or through the Malasakit Center. Number 5, emergency dialysis patients are those who are not enrolled in the regular scheduled dialysis treatment at the MPH. They cannot be immediately given treatment during regular operating hours, since the priority is the regular scheduled or enrolled patients. Thus, the center staff has to extend their operating hours and service to accommodate the emergency patients. Number 6, the charging of an emergency fee should also undergo the rationalization procedure as required under DOF thus DLG Joint Memorandum Circular Number 2019-01, dated November 21, 2019. Number 7, the contract of service of the dialysis center personnel could be amended by the increasing their monthly rate comparable to the rates being provided in other centers that are similarly situated. Overtime pay may be granted to the center personnel, provided that it is stated in the contract. Number 8, acquiring additional hemodialysis machine could accommodate all the dialysis patients who are being treatment outside of the province, although this would also entail the hiring of additional personnel. It could also generate additional revenues for the province. Recommendations. Based on the foregoing findings, the Joint Committee hereby recommends the following. Number 1, that the proposed emergency fee be referred to the Rationalization Committee, to the Provincial Treasurer for further study and recommendation. Number 2, that the issues and concerns on the grant of overtime pay and hiring of additional personnel for the dialysis center be referred to the Committee on Human Resource, Labor, and Employment. Number 3, that the provincial government should acquire additional 5 dialysis machines chargeable to the 20% development fund, in which shall be included in the 2024 Annual Investment Program, EIP, of the province or through a supplemental EIP. Respectfully submitted. Honorable Jose Neri Manggol, Chairperson, Committee on Ways and Means. Honorable Bernardine E. Office Mercado, Chairperson, Committee on Health and Nutrition. Honorable Mark Julius P. Caballes, Vice Chair, Committee on Ways and Means, Member, Committee on Health and Nutrition. Honorable Aurelio J. Leba III, Member, Committee on Ways and Means, Member, Committee on Health and Nutrition. Honorable Antonio L. Mangkukong III, Member, Committee on Health and Nutrition, and Honorable Danilo R. Red, Member, Committee on Ways and Means.
Okay, thank you. Any clarificatory query from the floor to the reporting committee chair? As of now, there is no rationalization committee yet. It was just committed yesterday that it will be organized, it will be constituted. So pending it's not yet existing. So will there be an amendment in the wordings? Maybe addressed to the governor still, or informing that it still need to be referred to the rationalization committee, so that the governor will also facilitate the immediate organization of the rationalization committee. Kasi dito po sa number 1 is to refer it to the committee. The committee is still in the process of being organized. Dito po sa number 1 recommendation, ang assumption po kasi nito ay meron ng nag-e-exist na rationalization committee kung saan i-refer po natin. Kaya lang sa ngayon po ay wala pang nag-e-exist na rationalization committee. Bubuin pa lamang po ng ating gobernador.
Yes po.
So will there be an adjustment in the wordings?
Okay po. Based on the previous po recommendation of the meetings, they have no existing rationalized committee to be headed by our governor. No po? This recommendation number 1 be referred to or inform our governor para makabuo na po noong rationalized committee po.
Okay.
As a certain recommendation of the previous recommendations that were tackled the ways and the the fees and charges of the hospitals, Madam Chair.
Okay. Maybe to immediately inform the governor that we need the recommendation of a rationalization committee as per guidelines before we could act on it. Para alam niya na we are stopped at this point in time. Ano po? So that will be an adjustment to the
Yes,
recommendation. There is a motion for the yung pong number 3 that the provincial government should acquire additional 5 dialysis machine. Ano po ang pinopropose ninyong action para ito po ay mangyari? Chargeable to the 20% development fund. So need we formally make a communication to the saan po? To the PPDO or to the governor? To the PPDO to include this? Yes, the chair first.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Under request recommendation number 3, to adopt a resolution requesting to our provincial governor through PPDO to prioritize the purchase of 5 hemodialysis machine in either through supplemental EAP or from 2024 EIP, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Manggol.
The next item in the committee report is the committee report of the Committee on Youth and Sports Development with regards to the SPES program.
The Honorable Chair of the Committee on Youth, Sports and Development, Honorable Loren Buchi Rosales is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This committee report is regarding with the letter of the Governor, Madam Chair, endorsing to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan for the legislative action, the letter of Ms. Alma C. Timtiman, Chief Administrative Officer, LMD Peso, requesting for the increase of the hiring rate of the Special Program for Employment of Students or SPES from 464.95 to 483.59 pursuant to DOLE Department Order number 175 series of 2017 and RA number 109171. The committee favorably recommends for the adoption of a resolution approving the request for the increase of the hiring rate of the Special Program for Employment of Students or SPES from 464.95 to 483.59 pursuant to DOLE Department Order 175 series of 2017 and RA number 109171, Madam Chair.
Okay. And so there's a motion to adopt the report?
I move for the adoption of the said committee report, Madam Chair, and transfer the corresponding resolution for the business for the day, Madam Chair.
Okay, there is a motion on behalf of the joint committees represented by the chair of the Committee on Youth and Sports Development Committee for the favorably endorsing the the resolution to increase the rate for this PES from 464 pesos and 95 cents to 483.59 cents. Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The committee report is adopted and the corresponding proposed resolution is now being transferred to business for the day.
Thank you.
The chairperson of the Committee on Ways and Means for its committee report. This has something to do with the request of the Governor for consideration approval of the extension of the waiver of fees and charges of exhibitors.
The Honorable Gentleman, Honorable Manggol is recognized.
Madam Chair, the request, if we give favorably approve this resolution, that the request of the Governor, the MSMEs more time to recover or regain their footing, so it will help them to sustain their operations and provide lively opportunities to their employees. So, Madam Chair, I move for the adoption of a resolution. I probably recommend to adopt a resolution to give authority to our governor to extend the waiver of fees and charges for the exhibitors and stallholders until May 31, 2023, Madam Chair.
Okay, is there any discussion on this? Will there be any discussion on this? No. The chair hears none. So there is a motion from the chair of the Committee on Ways and Means for the adoption of a resolution granting extension of the waiver of fees and charges for exhibitors and stallholders until May 31, 2023, as well as to allow MSMEs to continue their stay and sustain local livelihood and employment. What is now the motion of the reporting committee chair?
The reporting committee chair favorably
To adopt the resolution.
for the adoption of committee report regarding the request of the extension of waiver of fees and charges for exhibitors and stakeholders until May 31, 2023. I so move. Madam Chair.
Okay, committee report. Any objection to the adoption of the committee report as rendered? The chair hears none. Thus, the committee report is now adopted. And what is your motion with regard to the proposed resolution?
The accompanying resolution be transferred to the business for the day, Madam Chair.
And the proposed resolution as an offshoot of the adopted report be included in the business for the day. Yes, Honorable Leva.
Madam Chair, may I ask that to recognize the Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Agriculture and Fisheries for its committee report with regards to the request of the Governor for an authority and concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to initiate discussion with the municipal mayors and facilitate the dialogue and agreement to permit the temporary sharing of fishing grounds with affected fisher folks of Oriental Mindoro.
Yes, the pleasure of the reporting committee chair, reporting vice chair, Honorable Mercy Rengano.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Floor Leader and Madam Presiding Officer. With regards to the letter from our Governor Presbytero Velasco asking for an authority and concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to initiate discussion with the municipal mayors and facilitate the dialogue and agreement and permit the temporary sharing of fishing grounds with affected fishers folks of Oriental Mindoro.
So, ano po ang recommendation ng committee?
And with this, Madam Presiding Officer, I move that for giving an authority and concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to initiate and discussion with the municipal mayors and facilitate the dialogue of the provincial governor and agreement to the permit to the temporary sharing of fishing ground with affected fisher folks of Oriental Mindoro be adopted.
Okay, there is a motion for the adoption of the committee report rendered by the Vice Chair of the Committee on Agriculture, endorsing the adoption of a resolution authorizing the Governor to initiate discussion with the municipal mayors of the 6 municipalities and facilitate the dialogue and agreement to permit the temporary sharing of fishing grounds with affected fisher folks of Oriental Mindoro. Any objection? The chair hears none. The committee report as rendered is now adopted.
And in behalf of our chairperson on agriculture, I move that this committee report will be tackled for the business for today.
And the corresponding resolution as an offshoot of the adopted committee report be included in the business for the day.
Madam Presiding Officer, the Committee of the Whole now renders report that it favorably endorsed the appointment and concurring to the appointment of Mr. Juan Remedinia Fernandez as the Provincial Government Department Head, Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Officer, and that the same resolution of concurrence be considered in the business for the day portion of today's session.
There is a motion for the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report, favorably endorsing the resolution giving concurrence to the appointment of former board member Juan Fernandez as the new PDRRMO. Any objection? The chair hears none. The committee report is now adopted, and the corresponding resolution will be considered in the business for the day.
Madam Presiding Officer, again, may I ask for the suspension of the rules to consider first the business for the day. In the business for the day portion, we skip on the unfinished business to consider the appointment of Mr. Juan Fernandez.
Proceed, Honorable Leva.
Madam Presiding Officer, with us today is Mr. Juan Fernandez, duly appointed as the Provincial Government Department Head, Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, and as per recommendation of the Committee of the Whole, and in order to determine whether he has reached the vote of 2/3 or equivalent to 8 votes, I now recommend and move for the nominal voting.
Proceed with our nominal voting, requesting our secretary to facilitate.
Honorable Mark Julius Picaballes.
Yes po.
Honorable Aurelio J. Leva III.
Hindi po ako pumapayag na hindi siya ma-appoint.
Honorable Antonio L. Mangkukang III. Yes. Honorable Bernardine Opis Mercado.
100% yes.
Honorable Mercedes Arihano.
Okay.
Honorable Danilo Arred.
Yes. Yes.
Honorable Ismael D. Pilim.
Yes po, yes na yes, Madam Chair.
Honorable Jose Neril L. Manggol.
I vote yes po.
Honorable Baldomero L. Limpiada. Honorable Lorena Rosales.
Yes po, Madam Chair.
Madam Presiding Officer, the result of the nominal voting, 10 members of the board voted in favor of the concurrence, no objection, and no abstention.
With that, with 10 members of the board favorably approving the appointment of Mr. Juan Fernandez Jr., then the resolution concurring the appointment, giving concurrence to the appointment of Mr. Juan R. Fernandez Jr. as our new Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction Management Officer, a Provincial Government Department Head, in compliance with Section 463 of RA 7160 is now approved. And it is a pleasure, it will be a pleasure working with you, former Bokal Jan Fernandez, in a different capacity. Sir Jan?
Again, once again, thank you very much, Madam Presiding Officer, all members of this august body, the 16th Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Marami pong salamat. Sabi nga, many are called but few are chosen. Napili tayo siguro sa pamamagitan ng tiwala at biyaya ng Diyos. Nagpapasalamat din po ang inyong lingkod sa ating governor sa kanyang pagtitiwala na tayo inindorso sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan. At sa inyo naman pong pagtitiwala din na inyong ibinigay na pagpapasya ngayong hapon, ako po ay lubos ang pasasalamat. At sabi ko nga, kung anuman yung aking magagawa at maitutulong para pagtuwangan natin ang mga programa para sa ikaw-unlad ng ating lalawigan at kaligtasan ng ating mga mamamayan, ako po ay inyong pag-utusan. Muli po, maraming salamat sa inyo pong lahat at pagmamahal. Thank you very much.
The Chair declares the session resumed.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for the lifting of the suspension of the rules?
We are now going back to our internal rules.
Madam Chair, For the business for the day, the first item in the business for the day is the offshoot resolution of the Committee on Youth and Sports. May I ask that a chairperson of the Committee on Youth and Sports be recognized.
The sponsoring chair is recognized, Honorable Buchi Rosales.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Resolution granting the request for the increase of the hiring rate of the special program for employment of students space from 464.95 to 483.59 pursuant to DOLE Department Order number 175 series 2017 and RA number 109-171 be approved, Madam Chair.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Lim and of course the other chairs of the joint committees. Any objection? The chair hears none. Thus, the resolution approving the increase or providing for the increase of the hiring rate of a special program for employment of students or SPES from 464 pesos and 95 cents to 483 pesos and 59 cents pursuant to DOLE Department Order number 175 series of 2017 and RA 109171 is now approved.
Madam Chair, the next item in the business for the day is the offshoot resolution of the Committee on Ways and Means.
The Honorable Gentleman from Magpog, Honorable Manggol, is recognized.
I move for the adoption of resolution authorizing the extension of waiver fees and charges for the exhibitors and stallholders until May 31, 2023, and to allow the MSMEs to continue their stay in the Marinduque export area. I so move, Madam Chair.
Is any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Mercado. Any objection? The chair hears none. Thus, the resolution providing for approving the extension of the waiver of fees and charges for exhibitors and stallholders until May 31, 2023, and to allow the MSMEs to continue their stay in the Marinduque Expo Center is now approved.
Madam Chair, the next item in the business for the day is the accompanying resolution of the committee report of the Committee on Agriculture and Fisheries. May I ask to recognize the Vice Chairperson of the said committee.
Honorable Mercy Rejano is recognized with regard to the final motion for approval of the proposed resolution with regard to the joint.
I move for the adoption of a resolution authorizing concurrence of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan to initiate discussion with the municipal mayors and discussion with the municipal mayors to facilitate the dialogue and agreement of the permit the temporary sharing of fishing ground with the affected fisher folks of Oriental Mindoro. I so move.
Any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Lim, Honorable Mercado. Any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The resolution authorizing the Honorable Governor Presbitero Velasco Jr. to initiate discussion with municipal mayors and facilitate the dialogue and agreement to permit the temporary sharing of fishing grounds with affected fisher folks of Oriental Mindoro is now approved.
The next item in the business for the day portion is the accompanying resolution of the committee report of the Joint Committee on Education, Culture, and the Arts and the Committee on Appropriation.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Honorable Danny Red is recognized.
I formally moves for the approval of resolution appropriating the amount of 3,294,000 under the Provincial Governor's Office intended for the implementation of Bayanihan sa Basa Baya Lahat program 3Bs LP of the Department of Education School Division of Marinduque. I so move, Madam Chair.
Any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Lim, Honorable Office Mercado. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the resolution appropriating 3,294,000 pesos under the Provincial Governor's Office intended for the implementation of Bayanihan sa Basa-Baya Lahat program of the Department of Education, Schools Division of Marinduque is now approved.
The next item, Madam Presiding Officer, is the accompanying resolution of the Committee on Environment Protection and Human Resource and Human Ecology.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Honorable Mangkukang.
this representation formally moves for an adoption of a resolution giving authority to enter into, execute, and sign a memorandum of agreement for and behalf of the provincial government of Marinduque with Wholesome Philippines INC and with 5 municipal governments of Marinduque relative to the development and implementation of effective waste management plan. I so move, Madam Chair.
There is any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Manggol, Honorable Lim. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the resolution granting authority to the Governor, Honorable Presbytero Velasco Jr. to enter into, execute, and sign MOA for and on behalf of the Provincial Government of Marinduque with Wholesome Philippines Incorporated and representatives of the concerned 5 municipalities relative to the development and implementation of an effective waste management in the province is now approved.
Madam Presiding Officer, may this representation be recognized for the accompanying resolution of the Committee on Rules, Laws, and Ordinances.
Proceed, Honorable Leva.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for an omnibus motion adopting the following resolutions. Number 1, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance Number 277, Series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled An Ordinance Operationalizing Republic Act 10173, valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Number 2, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance Number 278, Series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled An Ordinance to curtail the safe rental, transfer, distribution, manufacture, and/or production of pirated, counterfeit, or fake goods, articles, or services, and for other related purposes as valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Resolution number 3, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 279, Series of 2023 of the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, entitled An Ordinance Localizing Freedom of Information in the Municipality of Buena Vista, Marinduque, and providing guidelines therefore valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Number 4, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 97, Series of 2023 of the Municipality of Gasan, Marinduque, entitled An Ordinance Prescribing Fees for the Occupancy Rights, Rentals, and Maintenance of the Second Floor Annex A Building, Food Court, and Multipurpose Hall of the Gasan Public Market, stipulating its terms and conditions, and providing penalties for violation, therefore valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Number 5, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 2022-355 of the Municipality of Buwak, Marinduque, an ordinance authorizing the pruning of cutting of trees and other vegetation that reach any transmission line or edge of any road, alley, street, or building for public use in the Municipality of Buwak, Province of Marinduque, valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. Number 6, resolution declaring Municipal Ordinance number 2023-360 of the Municipality of Buwak, Marinduque, entitled An Ordinance Providing for the Safety and Special Protection of Child Passenger aboard motorcycles, appropriating funds therefore and for other related purposes valid and within the power of the Sangguniang Bayan to enact. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
There is an omnibus motion from the sponsoring committee chair, Honorable Leva, for the adoption of a resolution approve resolution with regard to the 6 municipal ordinances as mentioned. Any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Caballes, Honorable Lindin Opis Mercado, Honorable Manggol, Honorable Mercy Rejano, Honorable Lim. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the omnibus motion is approved. The 6th resolution to wit with regard to the 6 municipal ordinances, to wit Municipal Ordinance number 277 series of 2023 of Buena Vista, Resolution Municipal Ordinance number 278 series of 2023 of Buena Vista, Municipal Ordinance number 279 series of 2023 of Buena Vista, Municipal Ordinance number 97 series of 2023 of the Municipality of Gasan, Municipal Ordinance number 2022-355 of the Municipality of Buac, and Municipal Ordinance number 2023-360 of the Municipality of Buac are all declared valid, operative, and within the authority of the respective municipality to enact, is now approved.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for a resolution entitled a resolution granting one-step salary grade higher to the basic salary of Miss Evelyn P. Emeda, Administrative Officer 4 at the Santa Cruz District Hospital, effective 3 months prior to her compulsory retirement on December 2, 2023, pursuant to Republic Act 7305, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for health workers, and appropriating necessary funds for the purpose. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Rejano, Honorable Caballes. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the resolution granting one-step salary grade higher to the basic salary of Miss Evelyn Jimena or at the Santa Cruz District Hospital, effective 3 months prior to her compulsory retirement on December 2, 2023, is now approved.
Madam Presiding Officer, that closes the business for the day portion of today's session. We now go to the unassigned business. May this representation be recognized, Madam Chair.
Proceed, Honorable Leva.
Madam Chair, may I move for the adoption of a resolution congratulating the Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter on the occasion of its 70th founding anniversary and manifesting the unequivocal and continued support of the provincial government of Marinduque on its program, projects, and activities. I so move.
Is there any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Mercado, Honorable Rejano. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the resolution congratulating the Philippine Red Cross Marinduque Chapter on the occasion of its 70th founding anniversary and manifesting the unequivocal and continuous support of the provincial government of Marinduque and its programs, projects, and activities, and congratulating the PRC on the occasion of its 75th anniversary, different, is now approved.
Yes. But Madam
The first resolution is for the PRC Marinduque Chapter.
Madam Presiding Officer, may I move for the adoption of a resolution congratulating the Philippine Red Cross on the occasion of its 75th founding anniversary and manifesting the unequivocal and continued support of the provincial government of Marinduque on its program, projects, and activities.
Any second to the motion? Duly seconded by Honorable Caballes. Any objection? The chair hears none, thus the resolution congratulating the Philippine Red Cross on the occasion of its 75th founding anniversary and manifesting the unequivocal and continuous support of the provincial government of Marinduque on its programs, projects, and activities is now approved.
The last item in the unassigned business is the proposed resolution being introduced by Honorable Ismael D. Philip.
Honorable Lim is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Madam Chair, as an offshoot of the discussion earlier, with the indulgence of the body, Mr. Chair, I move that I propose that the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Marinduque pass a resolution urging with this theme, a resolution urging DepEd to our Congress to consider reverting the schedule of school year back to June when it starts and March when it ends.
If the proponent will agree, maybe the resolution can just be addressed to the Department of Education, because as per information relayed to us, there is a law already granting authority to the executive to determine the schedule of classes. So with regard to that, maybe the Department of Education, the resolution to the DepEd may suffice.
Yes, Madam Chair. Probably the proposed resolution would reinforce the said measure.
So you are reconsidering the Congress will not be be removed,
yes, Madam Chair.
already. Okay, so
I submit,
there is a motion. Any second to the motion of Honorable Lim, duly seconded by Honorable Limpiada, Honorable Bucci, Honorable Mercy Rehano, Honorable Leva, Honorable Dindin Opis Mercado. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Thus, a resolution urging the Department of Education to consider reverting the schedule of the school year back to June
To March.
to March is now approved.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, that closes the unassigned business. We don't have any proposed ordinance and resolution for third and final reading. Madam Presiding Officer, may I move to adjourn?
Okay, the session is adjourned.